Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today is National Peanut Day. Did you know it's not really a nut? It doesn't grow on a tree. It actually is underground. Who knew? I got a good one for you today. 2 new trials to cover, and one of them is Alex Jones again. We get Alex Jones. This should be good, huh? Stay tuned. Hey everybody, Crafting Journey here, that journey chick on Instagram, and the leftovers on my new channel. Welcome back to the channel. Oh my gosh, yesterday was quite the day in the crime world. I decided, yes, I'm going to cover opening statements in the George Wagner IV case. Well, first of all, court was like 30 minutes late, so we got the first 30 minutes of the video are just me chit-chatting with the chat, and there weren't very many people there anyway, and I don't blame them. But, and I'm not going to repeat this, trust me. The prosecutor went on and she talked for 3 hours. Now, I cut it in half because after the first hour and a half, they took a lunch break. So there's a part 2. I started a new video when they came back from lunch. Now, if you watch the new video after the prosecution gets done, after her next hour and a half, while they're taking a 15-minute break, I do open up a package that I got from my friend Yvonne, friend mail. So it's kind of tucked into the break. If I can today, I'll create some chapters so you can just go right to that and you can see what Yvonne brought me for my fun mail. Oh my God, it's the most gorgeous diamond painting. I don't do separate unboxings for Diamond Art Club anymore. I don't care to promote that company. Yeah, they get enough self-promotion. They don't need me. Anywho, that's what she kept saying yesterday. And I said, oh my God, if she says, one more time, I'm going to scream. She just appeared like she just hadn't rehearsed it. She was unorganized. The argument was all over the place. What she did was she started out by going through all of the victims. And I think that was I would have done the same thing. And in fact, if you want to hear very succinctly what that case is all about, I did a video that previews the case that should have been the opening statements, not what she did. So take a look at that if you really want to get the gist for what this case is about. But she started out, she outlines each one of the victims. Okay, we're okay so far. What, honey? What's the matter, Tootsie? I just took you for a walk. What do you want? She will not go to the bathroom on the walk. She waits till she gets home, has her milk bone, and then I have to let her into the backyard. Hold, please. The prosecutor then decides she's going to walk the jury through every single step of the investigation, every single piece of evidence. Now, this is supposed to be a 5-week trial, and she is walking people through 5 weeks of evidence and testimony. And who's going to say what? Honest to God. Then she says Jake is going to testify, his brother, and Angela, George's mother, and both have entered pleas. Jake did his plea. He pled guilty in exchange for them taking the death penalty off the table. He has agreed that he would testify against his brother and his father. His father's trial is coming up here later. And in exchange for 8 life sentences. Consecutive life sentences. Now, Angela agreed to testify against her son in exchange for a 30-year sentence. So she will get out of jail. Eventually, she'll be in her 80s, but she's going to get out of jail. So then this prosecutor walks us through every single thing that these 2 individuals are going to testify to, as if it were fact. When we know that this is something that the jury gets to weigh. They'll get to see Jake, they'll get to see Angelo, they'll get to weigh the credibility of what these two people are saying. Oh my God, I think at this point, I think I was in a coma. Don't remember what else she was. 3 hours, guys, 3 hours. So I have it recorded if you want to watch it. What did the prosecution in the George Wagner case have to say that was new to me? One of the things that she said that I was very surprised about was that when Jake murdered the mother of his child, this was all about custody of the mother of his child. When he starts out, the first murders are, the prosecution thought that Kenneth Wagner, the uncle who was on a different street, all of these families lived on one street in separate trailers, but Kenneth lived on a different street. They thought he was first. He was actually last. So the first murders were, this is all according to Jake's version of the events, which I said you can't really take as gospel. He's a criminal. And he's got his own interests. He was trying to save his neck. So they start out murdering the father, the patriarch, Chris Sr., and his brother at their home. Then they continue on to the next trailer, which is Dana, Chris's ex-wife, her children, Chris Jr., and Hannah, who is the mother of Jake's child. Now, none of this has anything to do with George. Jake is George's brother. George is on trial. But Jake apparently started a relationship with Hannah when she was 13 years old. Didn't get her pregnant until she was 15, because according to the prosecutor, they were very heavily chaperoned while she was 13 years old when they were dating. But at 15, I guess not so much, because she gets pregnant. She has this child that they're fighting over custody of. Then she breaks up with Jake. He's trying to get custody of their child. Meanwhile, she gets into a relationship with, this guy whose last name is Gilly, her older brother, she has two brothers, Chris and an older brother. Her older brother is engaged to this guy she's dating's sister, and they have a child. So she's dating this Gilly guy. They break up. She's dating another guy. She finds out she's pregnant, but it's not the new guy. It's the Gilly guy. The baby, she has the baby. It's 5 weeks old at the time of the murder and in the bed with her. And she was nursing the baby when she was shot in the head by Jake. Then he proceeds to rearrange her body so that the baby could nurse. He just leaves the baby there so he could nurse. I think it was a female. So she could nurse. What? Yeah. I don't even know how to process that information. So Jake is going to tell us about he's admitting to 5 of the 8 murders. 5 of the 8. Now, the prosecution pointed out that George does not have to be the trigger man on any of the murders. He may not have been. He may not have shot a single person. But because he was complicit in the murders, he helped planning, he helped get the truck, they bought a truck just to do these murders. He stood guard. In case someone woke up while Jake was murdering Hannah, they thought Chris might wake up. So he allegedly was guarding Chris and he was going to shoot Chris if Chris woke up. Because he's complicit in all of this, he is as guilty as if he had pulled the trigger. So now I just told you everything in quite a short period of time. But a lot of these murders, some of these murders were planned. They planned to kill Hannah because she said, if you want custody of this child, you're going to have to kill me. They planned to kill the patriarch, Chris Sr., because he would immediately suspect that it was them. But a lot of these were collateral damage, these people, because they were there. Collateral. According to Jake, they were collateral. I don't know how that changes anything, but it just makes it all the more egregious, I think. They actually waited. After he killed Hannah and Chris, they waited for Dana to come home from her double shift at the nursing home, the mom, and then they kill her. But fast forward to the defense's opening. Short, succinct, to the point. He didn't do it. The defense actually got up and said that George woke up the morning of the murder. So it happened overnight, April 21st into the 22nd. So it happens during the night. George wakes up on the 22nd. He's going about his day. He sees his brother Jake up at the new barn. They have this new barn. Jake is up there working. He goes up and he's with Jake, and Jake gets a phone call, and Jake tells whoever's on the other end of this phone call, oh my God, the mother of my child was just murdered. And this is the first time George learned about the 8 murders. My jaw dropped. I'm like, what? He's going to claim he wasn't even there. I wasn't there. I didn't help. He didn't help in the planning. He didn't know anything about it. It was all his mother, his father, and his brother. He had nothing to do with it. This is a family who is a criminal enterprise. They have grow houses on their farm where they're growing marijuana. They're drug dealers. They have all this criminal activity going on. And George is like, I didn't know about it. Didn't know about it. His mother buys him a pair of sneakers. Didn't know about it. But to the point, the defense was very abbreviated, and I think rightfully so. The jury's already now not happy with the prosecutor because she made them sit there for 3 hours listening to her going I don't know what I'm talking about. And then the defense gets up there and goes, this is all malarkey. He wasn't even there. And I kept saying during the prosecution opening, when is she going to get to what George did? When is she going to get to what George did? She's talking about the entire rest of the family, but she hasn't talked to this is George's trial. George Washington Wagner the Fourth. I love that name. George Washington Wagner the Fourth. Okay. So that will continue today. After the opening statements, the judge is like, by then it was probably 3:30 or 4 Eastern time. And he says, I'm going to let you guys go early. I'm going to let you guys just let all that sink in. I would have been, let's go get a drink, shall we? Oh, this is just, it blew my mind. So then I had told people, I'm going to cover the openings of the Alex Jones case. So today is a brand new trial. Alex Jones, it's not a criminal trial. I got to keep that in mind. It's a civil trial. This is an interesting trial, and I'm going to read to you what is going on in this trial. This is the result of 3 lawsuits against Jones and Free Speech Systems, which is one of his corporations. It includes the family members of 8 of the school children that were killed in the Sandy Hook murders. And 1 former FBI agent that responded to the scene. All of these lawsuits have been condensed into this case that starts today. Very interesting. So I don't know the names of everybody, all the players, which is another reason I have decided I am not covering the opening statements. I don't know if each defendant or each plaintiff gets to do an opening. I don't know if they've condensed it to one person that's going to do an opening on behalf of everybody, but I don't want it to turn into a 4.5-hour broadcast for you to watch. I think you guys would rather enjoy me just giving you my synopsis at the end. I wrapped up that 3.5-hour opening in 10 minutes. So, some interesting things about Alex Jones. He was already tried in Texas. I did cover that case. I will put a link to that playlist here. The jury found him liable and awarded the plaintiffs over $50 million. Now, we'll see if they ever see a dime of that money. I need coffee. Now, it all arises out of the same set of events and circumstances, which is the Sandy Hook school shooting. So the plaintiffs had a choice of where they wanted to file the lawsuit. They could file it in Texas, where Alex Jones has his businesses, where they originate, or they could file it in Connecticut, where they all live. So the two plaintiffs that we've already seen that trial, they opted to go with where Alex Jones is. Not sure why. But the rest of these plaintiffs that have all condensed into one case are up in Connecticut, where the event occurred. Tootsie wants back in. Hold, please. So instead of bringing this to you live today, I'm going to be working on my resale business. I need to list some items. I did not work on my business at all yesterday, and that's okay. I am fun employed. If I do, I do. If I don't, I don't. I had a great time yesterday. I just didn't anticipate that this prosecutor would be so long and so boring. So I am not going to cover these openings today. I'm going to be listening and taking notes so that I can bring you the synopsis tomorrow of the openings, which I'm very curious, especially about this FBI agent. Very curious about that. So what other trial is still going on? Yes, the Nicolas Cruz trial that commenced again yesterday after the judge gave Labor Day week off for the jury. So they came back yesterday and they had a neuropsychologist testify. And I think I predicted this when I heard the testimony about how Nicholas's mother was a prostitute. She drank alcohol and cocaine. Well, she didn't drink the cocaine. I don't know what you do with cocaine. Snort it. I don't know. But she ingested these drugs while she was pregnant with Niclas Cruz. So I said, this guy is a fetal alcohol baby. And sure enough, this neuropsychologist, he agreed. He said, this kid, guy, man, whatever, criminal, he's suffering from fetal alcohol syndrome. He has an IQ of 88. His brain is damaged from what his mother did to him in utero. Now, how does this affect the case? I guess we're still trying to get the jury to sympathize with how brain damaged Niclas Cruz was because of other people. He was given up right away for adoption to the Cruz family. They didn't know what to do with him. They get a divorce. Now mom's a single parent. She doesn't know what to do with this kid. He's a mess. I can tell you, fetal alcohol babies, as babies, they're very hyper. They're very hard to calm. And then as they grow, they're very uncoordinated. They can't concentrate. Their brain is damaged. So this neuropsychologist, he confirmed all that. He appeared by Zoom. He had lots of charts and evidence. He had watched several of the witnesses testify, and he said it just corroborated his opinion that this was a fetal alcohol syndrome that he's suffering from. And I agree. What's tough is that Niclas Cruz is sitting right there listening to someone say, "You're brain damaged. You are a fetal alcohol baby." But I guess the good news is he's brain damaged and maybe he's not understanding everything. I don't know. Anyway, so that trial continues, and the judge, you can tell, she's on a very short fuse at this point, because they started out the day by the lawyers wanting to make some kind of argument. She's like, wait, the jury's ready to go. we are starting this trial. We're not going to hold the jury up while we've had the whole week off. You could have brought it to my attention then. And like, she's not having it. She's like, no, we're going to get this thing over with. I'm sure everybody's had enough of Nicolas Cruz. Let's just decide already, life or death. So those are the 3 trials that I am covering, and I will cover them today. I will listen to each one of them, and I will bring you the Cliff Notes tomorrow during the Crafting and Crime show while I list my items for the Leftover channel. And I did a cool thing last night, guys. Ooh, it was so much fun. During the live on Sunday, you guys told me that there was a new game out there called Disney's Dreamlight Valley. So I said, oh, I'm really on a budget. And I really was not trying to get anybody to buy me the game. That was not my intention. It really wasn't. But someone did donate money to the channel so that I could purchase the game. So I said, I'm going to stream this live for you guys. You bought it for me. We're gonna do this together. So I went live last night for an hour where we started the game from the beginning. So I'm gonna do this each night. Maybe not every night, but tonight we're gonna go live for another hour, and we're just gonna walk through the game. We're gonna have a little fun, chit chat, grab a cup of coffee, grab some tea, grab a cocktail. I'm gonna schedule it for 6:30 p.m. Central Time each evening, just for 1 hour. Just something fun. It's not crime related. It's not work related. It's just fun. Where you see me streaming this, it's a Nintendo Switch game. I understand it is available on other platforms, but check out what I did last night. We started right from the beginning. I created this awful looking character. I gotta fix her. She's got some kind of skin condition. So, because you can customize like everything about your character, and I gave her like Villy Lago. She looks like Michael Jackson. Anyway, check that out. Maybe I won't change it. It's just, that's the way some people look like that. There's a famous model that has that condition, and she's a famous model. Maybe I'll leave it that way. Anyway, and I'm sorry, couldn't resist. Oh, wow. Let's show you my progress on the painting, because I got a lot done during that opening statement yesterday. A lot. Hold on. I cleared this off so I could show you. Let me move the coffee, because this is dangerous. I don't know if you can see the setup over here. This is the extra monitor where I'm watching the game as I play it. Here's the Nintendo Switch. Here is I'll have my regular computer is right here where I do all the adjustments to the volume. I can see the chat, that sort of thing, like the control room. So here is the painting. I'm actually going to turn around. I have like 3.5 squares to go. Here it is. I finished the chickens down there in the lower right hand corner for you guys. Did I leave? It looks like I'm missing some drills here. No, maybe not. It looked like it from the other side. Right down here. No. Interesting. No. Okay. So, this is such a beautiful painting. This is artwork by John Sloan, and it's offered by Diamond Art Club. Well, I don't know. Most of the time they don't have this stuff in stock. They'll sell it, and then they take forever to restock it. So I'm turning it this way so that I can work on the last few parts of this. This is not what I will be working on today while I listen to the crime. I'll be in my office listing items on eBay. Because one of the things I've learned is you should list every single day, at least 5 items every single day. So I've sold a couple of, ooh, what's wrong? I got a splinter. What? I've sold a couple of items. I also have to go to the post office today. I just remembered. Oh my goodness. Okay. So let's turn on the light pad so I can finish chit-chatting with you. Oh. I had to unplug the light pad to plug in the game. So we're not turning on the light pad. We'll just diamond paint without it right now. What happened this day in history? Yeah, I'm all over the place today, aren't I? This day in history, Oprah Winfrey gives away cars. I'm going to look up the year. In 2004, she had arranged with Pontiac to come to give away these cars. Now, Pontiac actually gave away the cars. Pontiac donated all the vehicles to Oprah. Oprah proceeds to do this tour of the plant. She's driving the car around. She told the producers, I want you to fill my audience with people that really need cars. She fills up the audience, and then after, she goes through all this, tour of everything, and she tells everybody, she holds up a set of keys. She says she's going to give away the car, one of the cars. And she proceeds to say, you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car. Everybody won cars. Well, this did not turn out to be free. These people ended up having to, one person commented that it was more like getting 75% of a car, because they had to, it was a $28,000 car, but they had to pay $6,000 in taxes. So some people actually took out car loans to pay the $6,000. Some people traded it in and just got a cheaper vehicle. But Oprah did have another giveaway shortly thereafter for teachers, where she gave away like televisions and all these large items to teachers. But she thought that they had learned their lesson, and they also gave each teacher a check for $2,500 to cover the taxes. Well, apparently in that giveaway, it did not cover all of the taxes. Those taxes, some of those teachers had to pay up to $6,000 in taxes, so not free. So just remember, if you get a gift, it may not be free, especially something that large, $28,000. You got to pay taxes. If you're ever watching The Price is Right, remember, as those people walking off the stage, there's an accountant there saying, hey, got to pay the taxes on that. You just won a new car. Yeah, no, you won 75% of a new car because you got to pay taxes before you walk out. Yep. Interesting. You get a car. Well, it was huge for Oprah Winfrey because her show, man. I want you guys, here's a question. Here's a little quiz for today. This will show me, first of all, who watched to the end of the video. And second of all, who knows everything about Oprah Winfrey. How many seasons did Oprah Winfrey have her show? How many seasons were there? And I'll tell you the answer tomorrow, but let's see who watched to the end of the video. Yes, it's the end of the video. Guys, don't forget there is a craft-a-thon this weekend. It starts at 8 p.m. Friday, runs through Sunday evening. Princess Tia's Crazy Craft Addictions, she's going to open it up. There's a playlist. I will make sure I get that playlist and start linking it into the description. All you have to do is download the playlist and save it so you won't miss one single crafter. There's going to be crocheters, colorists, watercolor painting, diamond painting, planners. There's all kinds of stuff going to be going on this weekend. So if you are bored this weekend, you can tune in. Now there's some overnight hours. This is supposed to go straight through 48 hours, but I was not able to fill some of the early overnight hours. So there's some time frame during the night where you can get some sleep. Yeah. Anyway, guys, it's been a great morning. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget, tonight, 6:30 Central Time, I'm going to continue Dreamlight Valley. If you just want a little bit of an escape and some fun, tune into that. Otherwise, check out my leftover. I put up a new video this past weekend where I did a couple of really interesting yard sales. So stay tuned, guys. Bye.